Hello, I guess I was on and I didn't know it. Oh no. Who knows what you guys saw? I'm running around here with a chicken with her head cut off. So if you were on there, I probably should have just stayed on. Who knows how long I was on anyway. So as you hop on here, let me know that you are on. Did you guys, who's on here? I've got several hopping on. So this is our Friday night. And like I just said, I was on and I didn't know I was on. So I didn't want to put that on, so I had to close it out and redo it. So anyway, if you were on there, you probably saw me messing with my computer and I don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, let me know who's on here. You guys, give me some names and who I know that's watching. But this is Redesigned by Prima. This is Carolyn Muncie. I'm with Ransomed Relics. Those of you who have joined me every Friday night at 7. Hey, Stacy, you watch me sweep the floor. Well, you know what? I was afraid, because my dogs, I've got like 8 dogs, you guys. That's so embarrassing. I'm red. I got 8 dogs. I came in and I'd been down at my office working, and when I came in, they had gotten into something and there was stuff all over the floor, and I thought, oh my goodness, what if someone saw that? So anyway, hello everybody. It's been one of those days. Hey Debbie, hey Kara, so glad you're watching. If you're on here, tell me you're on. Hey Stacy. Well, I have 8, honestly. It's way too much. But I always say five of them would make one dog, because I got a 3.5-pound Yorkie and a 5-pound Yorkie and a little Chihuahua. So all those little things make one, right? Okay, so I've gotten a lot of questions over the last week. It seems like you guys have really enjoyed these, and I'm so glad. Seemed like you really liked when I hand painted the transfer. Tell me, maybe if those of you who've watched, tell me which was your favorite, whether it was the stencil when we first started, hand painting the stencil. We did molds, and we are going to work a little more on molds tonight. And then the 3rd week, we did hand painted transfers, which I thought everyone kind of liked. And then tonight, we're kind of going to do a plethora. I got a lot of people asking me about resin over the week. And I wanted to take the time to show you guys. I would pour it, but I'm over by my table and I don't want to get it on it. So I did pour some. And I want you to see, this is one of Prima's new little molds. And it's probably one of my favorites. Hi, Terry. How are you? Hi, Karen from Australia. So glad to have you. So this is, I actually did this kind of messy because I wanted to show you, there's several of them that I did, and I kind of over poured because some of you are really afraid of resin, just like I was. And actually, it was Terry Muncie who showed me how to do it. So anyhow, I poured this probably about 15 minutes ago, and I want you to see how this pops out. Now, with these molds are very intricate, honestly. They're very, very intricate. You can kind of, I'm going to bring you guys up and close, and you can see like right there, I didn't get into that. I was kind of in a hurry, but it doesn't matter because you're never going to see that, you guys, whenever you do your design. And this one, like I said, was about, and just look at that. Look at the detail on that. That's the reason why I'm a little hooked on using resin for the molds. And this one you can kind of see right here. It's got a little taggy thing. I just tear that off. And some of these are real bad. This one wasn't real bad, but I wanted to show it to you. This one, let me show you this one here. So now this one, you can kind of see how it ran over here, right? It just kind of ran all over here. And so you say, well, then that mold is ruined. No, absolutely not. Where do I get the resin? You can get it, Tanya, on Amazon, and it's called Amazing Resin. Make sure you get the fast acting one because they do carry a one that takes overnight to do. And then now this one I wanted to show you here. You can kind of see when you pour resins, it's just messy, you guys. It just is. And so I want you to see as I pull this out, here you go. You have got a great little, I mean, I just absolutely love these molds. And these are one of the newer molds. And that's what I was trying to do, you guys. I was trying to get on the computer. I didn't know it was going that long. Oh my word, you guys were here for 15 minutes, weren't you? Oh, it's so good to be back, Dana. Everything is great. So anyhow, you're going to have these little things that come out. Now I'm going to bring you guys down close and personal, like I always do. And let me see what's on the end of that. I hate to kind of do that. These are my little boards. Hold on just a second. Wait a minute. I got one right here. Okay, I don't care if I cut in this. Get you a hard surface. And let me put you guys down here. And I don't care if I cut on that. That's just a practice thing. So I want to bring you up here. You can kind of see this right here. You know, this lip right here. And I am going to I'm taking a utility knife. Hi, Anik and Leanne. Hey, I'm glad you caught me too. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go in here and I'm making sure you guys can kind of see. And I'm just going to take this, and it's better to do it, don't wait until you're ready to use it. Do it after you are pouring them. I always have like a pour night. Like last night, I poured a bunch of molds because I needed them for my today's project. Have you guys seen the sneak peek for the transfers that's coming out? So now you can just see I cut that, and it's just a perfect little mold, and I'm going to lay that aside. And then here's one that I really got off, you know, and you guys can kind of see that. You know, you can see all those edges, but it doesn't matter. You just take your little utility knife and you just go around where it is, and it's pretty forgiving, you guys. I mean, it pretty much. Now this one is a little thick because I wanted it to go over the edges quite a bit so you guys could see that even if the resin goes over the edges. And I did find something out about the resin. It's equal parts. You mix part A and you mix part B. All right, and it's equal parts. And it doesn't do anything until you mix them together. You mix A and B together. And I promise I'm not going to talk about this the whole night. I just wanted you, some of you had asked so many questions about resin. And you mix equal parts, and then you mix it up. I always use like a popsicle stick. And then whenever I have my popsicle stick, after I stir it up, you know, I'll have a couple popsicle sticks. And you can buy them real cheap at the craft stores. And, you know, you could actually even use a Dremel for this if you had a Dremel. But you can kind of see, you saw how that was, and it's just good. Hi, Priscilla and Tanya. So what are you using? Scissors? No, I'm using a utility knife. And it's just a little bladed utility knife. I mean, you could use a craft knife. You know, you could use anything that you wanted. You could even use a Dremel and get bing, 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 ricochet rabbit and get right in there. But I wanted you to see how beautiful I've been working on transfers all day. But how beautiful these molds are. They're very intricate. Now, you can use the air dry clay, and it's really, really nice. But the only thing about that is a lot of times you lose a little bit of the intricacies of what you're doing. Okay, so here you can see I've got 3 things, right? So how about using scissors? I have used, oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, I have used scissors, Tanya. I'm going to turn you guys up here to me just a minute. I have used scissors, and those work out really, really well. So whatever it is that you want to cut it with. The only thing with scissors is that they're so intricate that sometimes it's kind of hard to get scissors around it. But that's the first time I used it, I used scissors. Now I want to show you guys. Do you see? Let's see. Here's a straight one, and here's a curved one. And you can see after the resin dries, it's kind of going to go back. Belva says, hello, I didn't catch the beginning. What are you using for the compound for the molds? I'm using amazing resin, and you pour it in your molds, and this is what you get. Okay, so, and if you want to, Belva, you can go back and watch it after we end. So this is really crooked, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my heat gun, and I'm going to heat this up. Now, some people put it in the microwave. Some people, you know, just think, oh no, my mold is ruined. But I want to show you that you can reshape these, because sometimes I make a bunch, you guys, because I'm always using them. So I don't want to stop and have to make everything as I go. So what I do is I just go ahead and make a bunch of them. Okay, so now I want you to see. Can you see how that is? Now that just kind of straightened right up. Now it needs to be a little hotter. And this isn't my real hot heat gun, so it's going to take it a little while. You know what, Marlene? That's what I was trying to look at while you guys were watching me sweep my floor. I got on my computer and was trying to look it up, and it was 7 o'clock and I couldn't. And then I realized you guys were watching me do everything I was doing. What a dunce. So anyhow, you can see that totally straightened this mold. And maybe if Roz or something is on, maybe she could tell. Okay, so now I want you to see, look at that. Do you see how pliable that is? So if you wanted to go around a corner, you could go, let me turn it this way. You could go around a corner, you guys. So you could do this on your furniture, because used to, I guess we just did. And then if you do it while it's warm, and then you glue it on there, and then almost like the wood you bend. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the wood you bend, but you can see that. Now, if I left this here and I let this cool, it's going to stay that way. I'm crazy tonight. So now you can kind of see it's going up. But what you would do is, if you wanted it to stay this way, what you would do was you would glue it on, and then you could use some green tape. I still have my Christmas tree up, you guys. It is. And I'll tell you the reason why is because I have my barn so full of furniture. I mean, it's so full, you guys. And so I don't have any place to store it. We got a brand new Christmas tree this year. I don't have any place to store it, and I don't want it to be messed up, right? So I've still got my Christmas tree up. Hey, Roz. Okay, it's called Sicilian Borders. Thanks, Roz. I knew you'd know the answer, and I couldn't get to my computer to look at it. Okay, so look, you guys, it's staying there. As it's cooling, it's staying there. Isn't that amazing? Just get your little handy dandy heat gun out, and if you don't have one, you can go to Harbor Freight. If you have one, you get one for $9.99. All right, awesome thing, awesome tip. What I'm doing is, a bunch of people ask me a lot of tips and how about these molds and about different things. So that's what I'm going to work on, is I'm going to work on just a bunch of little questions that you guys had. If you have a question, Okay, Terry, be quiet. You're my friend. Don't rat on me. So anyway, if you have a question, please put the question up here. If it's about molds, if it's about transfers, if it's about stencils, whatever it is that you're thinking of. Oh, and I wanted to show you this. Someone wrote me today and they said, when I'm rinsing out my mold, when I'm rinsing out my applicator, you know, what I use to pour my resin in, it's really messing up my my sink. You know, it's leaving a residue on there. You don't want to put it down your sink, you guys. You don't wash your molds, okay? Here's what happens. Let me show you. Let me show you right here. Okay, so here's a messy little mold, right? Because I was pouring quickly. Watch this. All you do, let me get this up here where you can see. All you do is you lift that up and it's all going to come out. Look, it's all going to come out. See those pieces right there? It just comes out. I am getting ready for Christmas early. Hey, let's celebrate Christmas all year round, right? It's a season of giving, and we shouldn't just give at Christmas. We should give all the way, all year round, right? So look, you guys, you just clean it off of here. Here's one in there. Hope you guys can see that. Look, it just flakes off and falls. There you go. There you go. They basically clean themselves, almost. I mean, all you got to do is flake them off, and then they're ready to roll again. Like here's this piece right there. You know, I'm just trying to get it to where you guys can see it, and I can't see it either. Okay, so you can just kind of see. You just pick it off, and it comes right out. Okay, so now what you should do is when I get done with my resin thing, I put a popsicle in here. I use popsicles. And so what I do is I put the popsicle in, and then I'm just going to pull that popsicle up, and it all comes out. All of it comes out. And you've got a clean resin. This is on the outside where it dripped when it poured. See, look at that. You let it dry. Don't try to do anything with it when it's wet, because see, look, that just flakes right off. And then it's easy cleanup, you guys, but if you try to clean it when it's wet, it's awful. See, where can I find a complete listing of these molds? You can go onto Prima Redesign or Redesign with Prima, and they've got them all on there. And you guys, they are amazing. As a furniture artist, if you are a furniture artist, I would say that's one of the major things you need to invest in. And the reason why is because you can use them time and time and time again. So they're very good for your money because you just reuse them. So I'm going to go down here, and we're going to look again right here. I'm going to bring you up closer. Up close and personal. You guys don't need to see my mug. So here we go. I wanted to show you a couple of ideas, and then we're going to work on a little bit. Let me see. Okay, we're going to work on this. I've been using these sample boards, you guys, the whole time. So look here. I'm not going to glue these on, but I want to give you an idea. You can go on your piece, you can put these together, and I want you to see, you know, right here, they go together really, really well. You can't even hardly see where they juncture here. But if you want to, you could caulk it or use Dixie Belle mud. You could do anything like that, and then it's going to look like one continual piece. You know, I've got I don't know how many of you guys saw my sneak peek with my transfer that Prima's going to be releasing. They're going to be releasing them May 1st, and they've got some phenomenal transfers, you guys. And then they're going to have some new molds, I think, in June. So I've got 6 of them that's going down the side of the piece that I'm working on. And look just how beautiful that is. And it goes really, really, really well. Of course, it's on, I think, This is the mold, you guys, that this comes out of. It's this one right here. And this one is this right here. Let me see if you guys can see that. Just want to make sure you can see that. So that's this one here. I haven't done these yet. I love these because they're going with my piece. I mean, it's almost like they're handmade for my piece, you guys, that I'm working on. And then you also get, with this, you know, you get these two little things, and you can, like I said, I haven't cut this one yet, but you can put those here. You can make them look like they're hanging. Let me make sure you guys can see. You can put them on your piece, make it look like it's hanging, you know, kind of like that. You could even, and I don't have another one of these made, but I do down in my office, but you could go here and you could go another swag, and then you could do another one. There is so much. This is one of my favorite ones right here, and I don't have it cut, but I love this one. I think it's absolutely lovely. And Roz, I'm not for sure of the name of these. Next time I'll have these written down. I'm so sorry. She knows everything. She's so smart. But anyway, you've got, that's this one right here. And then you've got this one on the same. And you've got this one on the same. But so your molds are really, really, really usable. And you use them again and again and again. Some of your favorite ones, you might want to buy two so that you can be using two at a time. Okay, so it seemed like everyone really enjoyed my hand-painted stencil. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to open... I think I'm going to open this, and this is lavender blush. And I just want to pick out a couple things, this is such a pretty transfer, you guys. It's just so pretty. You've got the words, you know, you've got the words, you've got these beautiful pink, really, really pretty florals, you know, you've got all sizes of them, you know, all kinds of things here. And it makes it so easy for you to come up. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, since we're live on here, I think I'm just gonna do something kind of simple. So, you know, what I always do first is I always, and I will dry this, I always do a background. And I always tell you how important your background is. And I'm looking for my, oh, I got a big one here. I thought for sure I brought over here. And I'm just, oh, yep, I did. Okay, so I'm just going to, and probably put way too much paint on here. If I did, I'll just put it back in a plate, because I'll be painting right after this goes anyway. And I did. So what I want to do is I want to make a background. You can use one color, but as you guys know, I'm very, very big on making, let me get rid of some of this paint. I squished out too much. You gotta love that. Okay. Just gonna get some of that off of there, or we'd be all night here for it to dry, right? So I've got pretty much tea rose there, and I'm gonna come in here. I'm just gonna add a little bit of holy guacamole. Prima also has great, it's called, impasto paints, and I actually absolutely love them. But I didn't get a chance to, they're down at my office, and I didn't get a chance. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make me a background. And the reason why I do that is because I know as I'm laying on these transfers that this background is going to blend in. Boy, I am just really sloppy today. Probably because I've been working all day. I mean, I haven't even stopped for anything. So, but I'm going to make this background maybe. And whenever I'm doing this, I really don't worry too much about brush strokes, because you know what? Even though most of mine don't have brush strokes, the brush strokes can lend to a great canvas, right? So it lends to almost a hand-painted canvasy look, you know, and you can even come in with a smaller brush, you know, and work those around and make it really look hand-painted even before you put your transfers on. So I am going to get my heat gun. So while I'm drying this, let's see. Any question that you give me, I will answer. So don't, if I haven't seen it while I'm working, then you go ahead and you ask a question. Let me look back here. You write the names on. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to start doing that. Hi, Pam. How are you? You're right. I do. You're exactly right, Roz. Great idea. You guys are really, really smart. So anyway, I'm just going to try to take some of this paint off, because I really got it painted. And you know what? Something just happened that I just kind of love. As you're using a heat gun, always remember that it gets really hot, and it's going to dry things pretty fast. This one's not really as fast. I want you to see this. I kind of like that, you guys. Let me see if I can get this up here and see that. Kind of added a little bit of texture. Can you see that texture? And then as I add the molds, if I can get all this paint dry, you guys, I might just need to start on another one, because that paint's gonna, I don't have my good heat gun to be done, and well, it's drying. The thing about when you're using your transfers, I better do it differently. Because the thing about when you're using your transfers, you guys, is that you have to have a dry background, and I just put way too much paint. Way too much paint. It will take forever to dry, and you guys don't want to see me drying paint all night, right? So I'm just going to take this in. Oh, that's much better. I can actually even work with it. Much better. And you know what? I get paint everywhere, but what I love about it, though, is you can clean it up, too. My husband used to get aggravated at me, but I always told him, hey, listen, at least I'm working and getting something accomplished, right? We're just going to put just a little bit of that on there, just because I love adding the green. And you can kind of see as that mint, as that just kind of blends in there, it's going to give it a very soft look. Don't be afraid of mixing colors together. Don't be afraid of even leaving some of those brush strokes out here. Now that's going to dry really well. And I'm not really that worried, you guys, about all those brush strokes, because they're going to look great with the transfer. All right, now let's get this drying. All righty, so we're doing pretty good on time. I was kind of afraid we were doing bad on time. One of the great things, you guys, about the transfers, you've got some coming out, and if you want to go to my page, or you can even scroll down on this page, you can see a lot of the sneak peeks of what's coming out, and they're just absolutely lovely. Some of them is going to be your favorite. Other ones, you'll like other ones, you know. I mean, everybody is different when it comes to what they like and what they want to do. I think mine is really pretty. I absolutely love gold. Just about everything that I have, that I paint, has a little bit of gold on it. And somewhere, somehow. But I want to show you, I don't know if any of you guys are aware of this product, and I'm going to show this to you. It's the Prima rub-on foils. Have you guys ever used these? They're really, really awesome. I absolutely love them. And I'm going to show you a use for the rub-on foils that maybe you've never thought about it. Maybe you have. I don't know. I use it a lot in this capacity. And I think I'm almost dry here. Just with the transfers, you want to be pretty dry, because if you put a transfer on and it's not dry, it's not a good thing. So I think we're pretty dry here. All right. Now, if I was really doing something, I would really work on that background, but we're just going to do some of this. Okay, so let me see. Let's do this first. All right. So I am thinking, you guys, that I am going to want, and remember, when you pull your transfer off, let me find my piece I'm looking for. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. When you pull your transfer off, remember that this side is sticky. So wherever you put that at, so I kind of want to see where I'm going to put this mold. And I'm thinking it would look really pretty like that. So you can imagine, like we always do every week, that this is one of your panels that you're working on. And sometimes when you're working on the transfers, most of us are pretty familiar with them. If you can get a little bit of air in there, it's going to help those transfers adhere. You just kind of work that air in there, and it helps the transfers adhere. And let's say you don't want this little flower or this little flower, then just don't rub them on. And that one I think might have already kind of rubbed on, so maybe I might have to have that one. I think that one did too. Okay, so we've got this going here, and there are so many things that Prima has, you guys, that make our life easier. I'm a #1 fan of all the molds. I do a lot of hand painting, as most of you know, and I'm getting ready to open up a subscription group. I don't know how many of you have followed Ransomed Relics, but you might want to check it out, and we will be learning hand painting and all kinds of stuff. It's not just going to be that, it's going to be, now that didn't come down, so let me see if I can get that. Okay, so here we go. I got my you can just kind of see how when you use that air that's underneath there, it really helps your transfer stick. And with the thing that I showed you last week, you don't have to be incredibly worried if you lose part of it, because you know that you can take care of it, right? And that's the thing. As someone said last week, oh, I'm so afraid that I would mess them up. No, not at all. You will not mess them up. Okay, so here we've got that, and it's just so pretty. Isn't that pretty? And we'll make sure you guys can see. You need to write, yeah. So we've got that on there, right? So I'm not going to glue this on, but let's just pretend this is a panel that you have. And so you can use these molds, you guys, and let's pretend this is the side. So here you come in and you've taken this plain piece and you've made it just absolutely beautiful. I mean, you can even go, you could cut this off, you can even go all the way around your panel if you wanted to, you know, just like this. You wouldn't even have to use that. You could, let's say that's a corner in a corner or whatever, then you could use, and I think I ran out of these, but you could use these all the way around and make your own panel. And then with heating them with a heat gun, you guys, they are fantastic. So let's think about that right there. So here's what I want to do now. Let me get these out of the way. And I'm going to come in here with a few more colors. And we're just going to work this a little bit, not a whole lot. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. If you want to see what I did with the hand painting, please refer to last week. But we'll do a little bit of it because I want to show you. Let me get me a paintbrush. And these are just little artist brushes. Prima does cover, they do offer some artist brushes that are absolutely fantastic. I've got a set that I absolutely love. This is one of them. It's got the end of one thing and then you've got your artist brush, but I need something smaller for right now. Okay, so I'm just going to dip into a white and into that pink because that's what it is. I might even want, let me get a little bit of this in here. Just because I want to show you that you can add a little color. And I did this last week, you guys, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time redoing that. But you can just kind of see that totally, and you don't have to do it a lot of places, just maybe every now and again you want to come in here and just put in a little highlight. It doesn't have to be every single leaf. It doesn't have to be, because they're beautiful just as they are, you know. You can come out here and maybe you don't like that. You can, you know, make you bigger, make you a stalk of something going up here. You can change this, and let's say you can kind of see here. Let me show you. Right here, this is broken. Do you see how that's broken right there? Well, I'm going to come in with colored greens, and I'm just going to fill that in a little bit. And just fill that in. And it also helps with taking away your halos, if you've got a bunch of halos. Let me see here. So I want to do a couple of these. I'm hoping you guys can see this. Can you see it? I'm trying to hold it up where you can see it. So I just want to do just a little, maybe around the edges there. And maybe put just a little highlights. And then as that dries, it's just going to give it a little bit of a hand-painted piece. And it's going to actually help, it'll help, you know, with the, there we go. Maybe come down here. Be free with it, you guys. Don't feel like you're going to tear up your beautiful transfer, because you're not. All you're doing is you're just adding a little detail. So I wanted to show you, let me see what time we're at. Okay, we're at 7:40. So I wanted to show you that, and I'm hoping I got the right kind, you guys, because sometimes, let's see. Let me see if this works. And I meant to see that. Oh, I had two right there. Okay, yeah, this works. Okay, so let's say you've got a background and you're wanting to just to do something a little special. Now these are this is that rub-on foils. So you can rub on the gold. I want you to see, can you see right there where I rubbed the gold on? So I did this to my new piece that I just did with my Prima transfer. And let's say you just want to go in here and you want to make a little bit of a background of gold. And all I'm doing, you can do any type of pattern. You can do squiggly lines all over. You can do straight little lines. You can do circles. You know, there's no rhyme nor reason to what you can do or what you have to do with this. It's just your imagination of what you want to do. You could even, I don't know if you could do some lettering with it or not. I'm not for sure. But I want to show you, and I'm just going to do just a little area. And all I'm doing, you guys, is I'm taking something hard and I'm rubbing it on. And it gives just a subtle look to your panel. And you could get real, you could get really creative with this, right? But I did this on several pieces, and it just gives that subtlety of the gold. And Prima also has, you guys, not only that gold color, they've got pink and they've got blue. I don't think I have mine in here. I meant to grab them. But they've got all kinds of colors, not just the gold. And the pinks and the blues are just absolutely beautiful. So you might want to look where your transfer is. So now I want to see, for you guys to see that. Can you see it? Because it's hard for me to see if you can see it. Let me put this up. Let's see. Can you see that? See as that gets in the light? It's just very subtle, you guys. Very, very subtle. And it's just a beautiful finish. And then then you will seal this, but you'll still have that gold glimmering. Isn't that pretty? I mean, I like it. Do you guys like it? Show me if you like it. So I don't know if you can see it as it's out here, but you can, when I bring it up, you can really see it. See that? I like a lot of things that are very, very subtle. And I did that on my gold piece, you guys. And it just turned out really good. Let's say you want to, let me see if this is dry. Let's say you want to add a little bit on your leaves, kind of position it to where the leaf is. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. Well, that didn't work too good. Let's see if it goes. Of course, we got our return. No, I don't think it's doing it on the transfers, you guys. I thought it would. Oh yeah, it did. It did a little bit. You can see that on a little bit of that. So if you really worked with it, you could also use it on that. But this is just a very subtle thing you could put all over your background, and it just gives a real subtle look to what you're doing. Let me find my Eternal. If you guys, and I say this every week, but if you guys have not invested in the decor wax, I'm telling you, and then you've also got the other types of waxes. You know, some of them are not, some of them are just color, and they aren't, you know, they're not metallic. Some of them are flat color, but they're absolutely beautiful, and you can really, really, really use these, you guys. So let's say I was going to put this here. Let's do this. We've got time, I think. Let me just, it won't be perfect. Let me dry this real quick. You paint these molds however you want to paint them. You could paint this cream, you could paint this. This was just what was in my brush. If it was mine and I was doing it, I wouldn't paint it this color. I would paint it with cream. But this is what was in my brush, so we'll just go with it, okay? And so, and it might help the Eternal to come in. So all I do, and I want you to see how creamy this is. I mean, it's like awesome. And you can use gloves. I'm a textile girl, so it does not bother me to have stuff on my fingers. But for some people, it would bother them very much. So, but you can always put gloves on. And I want you to just see how easy this goes on, you guys. And you just, I don't try to get it in the grooves. Now, I do want it on that ribbon because I want that ribbon to show up really well. And I'm going to put it on the sides because you don't want white sides, right? Sticking out of your piece. And it doesn't bother me if it's gold. Now they've got silver, they've got bronze, if you're doing a bronze, you know, and they've got all kinds of molds that would fit. Let's say you're doing an MCM piece and you want it to be more industrial. They've got molds that are industrial. I mean, they've just, and then they've got these beautiful molds. Now, I do want to say this. This mold has been out for a while. They normally do not bend like this. Normally they're very, very stiff. This was an accident for me because I was learning to pour molds and I did a ton of them. And so I came back home and a couple days I looked and these were just still really, really bendable. And I thought, oh my goodness, they should be hard. But you know what? I like it. It's still hard. It's still coming out, but it's bendable. So it's going to fit on my surface so nicely. And how you get that, Terry, I figured out how you get that, is you do less hardener, just a little less. And when I say a little less, I'm talking a little less, not a whole lot less, because if you don't have enough hardener in, they're not going to harden. So let's say you go exactly to whatever your measurement is, and don't mix too much, you guys. It's better to keep mixing and keep mixing. I only mix about that much of resin every time, and then I have to just keep mixing it, because if you mix too much, it's going to harden before you pour it. So what I do is, let's say this is my line for my, let me put you guys up a little bit. Let's say this is the line for, and I don't have a pen right here, I'd mark it. Well, I guess I got paint, huh? Okay, so let's say this is my line for my part number 1. And then here's the line for my part number 2, because it's equal. I will go just a little less. I mean, I'm talking a little less, tiny little less, and then my molds come out to where they're bendable, you know. So I want you to see this on the silk, you know, the gold part. Look how pretty that looks on that. Isn't that pretty? You've got that going. Or you can switch it over here and you can put it on top of your, and this, pretend like this would be your piece. You could do like one here and then even one right here. You know what I'm saying? So that would be your panel. And you can just see, you guys, how pretty it is. I absolutely, absolutely love that. So we've got a little bit of time, I think. Let me see what time we're at. I have to stand up to see. Let's see. Oh, we're doing good. Okay. So, I hope that you guys enjoyed these 4 weeks every Friday night at 7. And who knows, maybe we'll start doing these every now and again. Wouldn't that be fun? Just a month of doing stuff. That would be fun. And coming up with all kinds of different uses for our products. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love these. I love the transfers. I love to hand paint them. Those of you who didn't see the other week, this is the one that we really took time and really hand painted. And you can see whenever I turn it, I put a little bit of that gold. And the other one that I absolutely love is this one. And it is called Diamond Dust. The Diamond Dust is really, really light, but you can kind of see how that gold just kind of shines and that Diamond Dust just kind of shines. It's very, very subtle, but absolutely beautiful. So I've enjoyed my time with you guys. This is what that looks like. It's creamy, it's awesomeness, it's beautiful. And it just changes. Let me do this real quick before we get off because I got a minute. So let's just do this just a minute. Let's say you don't want to paint, but you want yours just to look a little bit highlighted. And I'll put this in the light because you can't really see it when it's laying down. But you just want to bring a little bit of highlights around this rose. Okay. Okay, so you could do something like that. See that? See how subtle that is? But look how pretty that is. And then you've got your stick mold or foils there, and it just gives you just a beautiful, lovely, very subtle look. Now you can also do really, 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 you know, brilliant looks too. I love color. I love all of that. So that is all for me tonight. And so I'm Carolyn Muncie, Ransomed Relics. If you haven't liked my page, please go like my page and see some of the crazy stuff I'm working on and some of the stuff I'm doing. And I enjoy Prima, and I really appreciate Prima giving me this opportunity to come and be with you. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you later. God bless.